And also, I would just flash my tits for beads anyway, so I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary for any of us.
It's a big 4. It's a big 0. We've reached our 40s. Yay!
Yay! Penny's nearly at her 40s anyway.
Hey, well, you know.
It's my birthday soon. So don't forget, if we're going to keep doing old jokes, it's my birthday in like...
So you're going to be 50, right?
She's turning 40.
No.
Hello, welcome to episode 40. Thank you for joining us in our mature times, when we've definitely outgrown our immature times when we were in our 20s and 30s, and now we're just going to be a very mature podcast from now on, right?
Willies.
Okay, that's fucked up now. We can't fucking use that, so thanks. Joining me is Willies Bennett. Hello.
Hi.
It's your new nickname. And Andy.
Hello.
And I think that's everyone now. I think there's no other people here or something. Oh, hold on. My God! It's the Sussex rattlesnake! Oh! He's brought a chair! It's a steel chair! It's Brad. Hi, Brad.
Howdy. Wow, quite an entrance.
Yes, Andy. That's what I had planned.
Well played.
Wow.
Well played.
You could have been my Michael Colt and my Jim Ross, but you didn't help me out there, Andy. Fuck's sake, what was that?
Well, I didn't know what was going on.
So loud.
I've never heard of a Sussex rattlesnake. Is that a thing? He's an adder, if anything.
It's loud because you're old, all right? We've spoken about this.
She's got her ear trumpet in. It's too loud.
Turn it down.
Wrestling's not even real. I'm assuming you're talking about wrestlers because you're always talking about wrestlers. So.
No, we're actually talking about...
Snakes.
Snakes. Yeah, rattlesnakes.
Not on a plane, I hope.
Brad's here.
Yay!
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Howdy, everyone. I feel like I had to pick a word there as an intro.
Famously made us listen to Andy talk about biology. So fucking thanks, Brad. Just returning the favour coming on the fucking show. So cheers, mate.
Yeah,
It's all right.
standards are high now. That's what we set the benchmark as. How much can we upset everyone else by talking about something as weird as bad biology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hit a couple of times, but biology has become, I guess, a classic in its own right. But yeah, cheers for that, Brad.
That's all right. I think if there's any legacy I'm happy to have left, it's passing that on to Andy. It's up there with Hatchet ending is bad biology levels of freaking you out.
Yeah, it's certainly left a mark.
Yeah.
I can't work out if it's better that we had bad biology before the placenta.
Oh,
Like, were we...
What, to desensitize us even more?
Yeah.
I think probably so.
But then we didn't have to look at the placenta because you couldn't get the visuals to work. So I had to look at bad biology.
I mean, I went back after listening to that episode. I actually went onto YouTube to watch the trailer, and that was I would take bad biology every day of the week over that bloody placenta.
The placenta film is vastly underrated. I stand by it. It's one of the greatest films in modern cinema, even though it never went to the cinema. I assume it didn't.
In modern cinema.
You know when people walk into the wrong screen of a cinema and it takes them a minute and everyone in the cinema's like, you're in the wrong place, especially if they've got a child with them. Imagine that and you're watching the placenta.
I mean, I thought it was a good film. It was bleak, but that's apparently my brand, so I had no issues with it.
Andy Bleak
You've
Joyce.
become a meme.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pen, the least bleakest of all. Give us a cheery film to talk about or listen to.
It's pretty cheery. It's a lot.
Wait. When you say it like that, it's never cheery.
It's not. I don't. This is a lot. I watched 2016's CarousHELL, which also looks like it's called CarousHELL, but they've accented the H, so CarousHELL. Duke, a carousel unicorn, breaks free of his carnival hell and embarks on a bloody rampage of revenge
We've hit a new low.
and humanity.
We've hit a new low.
Just from the title.
Guys, it's fine. Because I think I found horror's answer to Neil Breen.
Oh, for fuck's... Really?
I think I found him.
I'm
but
listening.
better.
You did not have Dan's curiosity, but now you have his curiosity and his attention.
You have both my attention and Kira.
Yeah, I'm going to go do something else. Brad, thanks for taking my place. See you later.
Hot tag. Austin's in.
It's a little birdemic in places. It didn't take very long. It's also on Amazon Prime, as apparently this is where they all live.
Everything is on Amazon Prime like this, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I didn't look it up. I'm assuming it's very low budget. It had some birdemic qualities to it. The practical effects were actually really good. Like, Neil Breen's not doing that shit. So it's kind of... Don't know how I feel about this movie. So we'll find out. We start off with a voiceover. Turns out that is Duke the Unicorn. So he does have his own voiceover for this. He's on his carousel. He's going around. He fucking hates it. He says he works too hard and, kids sit on him and he has to go around in a circle all day. He's fucking bitching and moaning.
He works too hard. He's stuck to a pole. He does literally fuck all.
Yeah,
he just stands there or sits down or whatever unicorns do.
I'm curious, when he says this, is this an internal monologue or are you seeing him actually talk and is it an animated face at all?
Oh, no, we don't have enough money for animation like that. No. For the entirety of this movie, Duke is I don't want to say stationary because he does move, but he is a carousel horse. His limbs don't move, like he is a carousel horse. He moves across the screen like a child with a toy. Dun, 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 dun.
So a bit like Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where when they all go off the fairground in
Yes.
the oil painting. Yeah.
Yep. So they've cut him out and they move him across when they bother to move him. Anyway. So we start off with our other characters. There's a mum with 2 kids, a small boy and a teenager who I looked up and she was 28 when she did that movie. So I was correct in thinking she was not a teenager. And the premise of the story is she has to look after Lunchbox, which is what they call her little brother Larry, because he collects lunchboxes. He also wears a fedora.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. My lady.
Mum's a stripper. Turns out they have a weird conversation about the...
Mum's a stripper.
There's so many weird details in this, which is why it's a bit long. Yeah, so Mum's like, I have to go to work. You have to look after Lunchbox. It's all been mad since we had that corporate buyout at the strip club.
What?
Don't know. That's just there's a lot of things that just happen or are said, and then there's nothing.
Oh, I really hope it was like Walmart.
Bitcoin's going through the roof, but the fucking strip clubs fucking...
You want to get on those early.
Cash them in.
I've seen it on Reddit. They're trending.
Yeah, they're trending right now.
I mean, when there's a corporate buyout in the board meeting at a strip club, what's the appropriate attire?
Well, she actually leaves the house in not a lot of clothing. Like, she goes to work in her stripper clothes because Lunchbox is like, Mum, don't wear that around the house. She's got like a tiny skirt and a little tied up top, just so you know that she's a stripper.
Right.
We never see her again, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
So the plan is the sister, whose name I never wrote down in the end. So the sister, her boyfriend works at the amusement park. I say amusement park, the place where the carousel is. And then she's going to a party and she has to take Lunchbox. And they get there and Lunchbox gets on the back of Duke. And he's a bit of a chubby kid. Duke calls him a fat fuck quite a lot. But he's, like kids are, he's smacking him and he's like, woo! And then he also sneezes on him and wipes his snot all over the horse.
How old is Lunchbox?
11, 12.
Fucking idiot.
11? He knows better than that.
Yeah.
He's just being a prick.
10, 12, something like that. Not only does he sneeze, he picks his nose and like wipes it on Duke's eye. And Duke's internal monologue is just like, why am I alive? Which was a mood. We can all go with that.
We can all relate, yeah.
Lunchbox gets off, goes with his sister, and Duke's had enough. So they show the horse and it just starts shaking as if he's going to come alive or whatever. And then the next scene is him Mary Poppinsing it across the screen. So he's detached himself from the carousel somehow and he's floating along the screen.
Okay, can I have one question?
Yeah.
Just one question.
Yep.
Since he was attached to the carousel, is the pole that he was attached to not on? It's just him.
It's just him now, just no pole.
Right.
He does make a really good joke at some girl about who's better on a pole, like calling her a stripper.
Yeah, because I was going to say, yeah.
There's a lot of puns in this as well, Andy. I feel like you'd enjoy it for a lot of the puns, but I can't remember how many I wrote down.
No.
So then Duke floats up to, you see him like, up to a clown, and he starts talking to the clown, and the clown can hear him. So we've gone from internal monologue to actually speaking. The clown says, oh, well, you're just a ride. Like, what are you complaining about? So Duke says, how about a ride in hell? And then stabs him in the neck with his horn.
I mean, I'm sorry, why is the clown's first thought not, how the hell have you got here, carousel horse? It's just approach it as if this is a completely normal thing.
Penny films.
Yeah, very true.
He looks a bit like a hobo clown. I don't know whether he was supposed to be drunk. But yeah, it's quite a long scene of the horn in his neck and wiggling about. And like I said, the practicals look pretty good all the way through. They give him quite a lot of screen time, seeing as how if it was kind of shit, you'd want to pull away for it. So I was into that. The sister and the boyfriend are trying to fuck in the car on his lunch break. Lunchbox is in the back of the car. And
oh, that's weird.
Yep, really weird. He's like, dude, shut up. I'm trying to bang the sister.
Okay.
Seeing as how Lunchbox was the last kid to ride Duke, and that's the straw that broke the unicorn's back, Duke is now intent on killing him. The sister's boyfriend leaves to go back to work and he sees Duke just sitting there and he's like, what the fuck is this doing here? So he uses his work radio and the code names. He says, hello, chicken feet, this is Blue Snow Cone. And then Duke kills him with a machete.
Right.
Don't know where he got it from.
How is he holding the machete? How is he holding it?
How is he holding it? Yeah, how is he holding it?
You don't see it.
What? Hold on
it's
a
all
minute.
done off screen.
Not always, but this one, the machete just clunks the boyfriend in the back of the head and he's dead.
So it's funny games with a unicorn.
Please don't ever do, no.
What?
Funny games
It is.
so... No, because we already saw him get stabbed in the neck. So
fine, all right, okay.
So then a guy from the who works in the amusement park, who is dressed in what I can only describe as a fake Woody from Toy Story suit.
Yes.
Like a cowboy?
Yeah.
Like a cowboy, yeah.
He's got a big cowboy
I'm a
head,
cowboy.
but he's also wearing a leather jacket. I think he's called Cowboy Cool. I found out in the end, but anyway.
That's real cowboy names, yeah, definitely.
We need to go for the alliteration here. What else goes after cowboy? Cool.
And he's very like, what in tarnation? And he is in this outfit the entire film.
Dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
Yep. He finds the clown and is like, oh no! So he runs to the carousel and he's like, oh no! Duke's gone! He finally woke up! So this cowboy knows more than he's letting on. So he hoped the day would never come. So now the cowboy, he has to hunt him down and he has to kill Duke.
This is kind of going well. I'm surprised.
You're taking it way better than I am.
Are you internally raging right now?
Yeah.
Wow, I couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell. Sorry.
There were definitely bits of it that saved it, but it was also full of nonsense. I mean, I want to be friends with the guy that directed this, but we'll talk about that later.
There's a level of suspension of disbelief with the
Andy can't handle
the
it.
machete kill. I can see where that's the nope out for Andy there, if anything.
I had to pause this so many times in like the first 7 minutes because there was so much going on.
Andy's out was when he heard it sounds like this guy is dressed up like Woody, and Andy was just like, no, I'm gone. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Well,
4 films was too many.
Woody is not going to kill Duke with his bare hands. Needs a gun. Where do you hide your gun if you work in an amusement park?
He's a cowboy, so probably in the holster?
Nope, it's in a metal case that is hidden in the ball pit.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah.
Obviously.
How naive of me.
Yes.
Woody also talks quite a lot. Very difficult to understand him because he's got the head on. I did get partway through this movie and have to turn the subtitles on, partly because I couldn't understand them and partly because I was like, did they actually just say that? So we cut to a guy and a girl in a park. It gets a bit birdemic with the background noises where they cut between the two. You can hear the difference in the sound in the background.
I love that transition.
Yeah,
So
but
good.
that was the only scene I noticed it in. They're having a romantic date and all of a sudden the girl sees Duke like off somewhere in the park and she's like, oh my god, you got me a present. I love carousel horses. And the boyfriend's like, yeah, I definitely had something to do with this. So he goes up to Duke, puts his hand on it, and then he can hear him. Duke calls him something and he's like, yeah, we have to go. So he starts running away and then he's like, falls down, throwing stars in his back.
Throwing stars, yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Yep.
Of course, yeah.
Classic shurikens at the fairground, at the carousel.
Has anyone seen the film Falling Down? This is like a unicorn version of Falling Down, if anyone's ever seen that.
It is.
It is a bit,
It's
isn't
a
it?
unicorn
It is a
version.
little bit.
He's just trying to get home and find his daughter. That's all it is.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So the girl runs off. There's a nice bit of POV from Duke's perspective so that we don't have to see him floating across the screen. And she's hiding behind a tree and then she is garroted with a wire. So for this, you do actually see the hooves either side of her neck killing her with the wire. So that's pretty good. They are very solid unicorn hooves and they're killing her.
Question for you.
Yep.
How does he get the wire around the tree?
So now he says to her, now you can have a picnic in hell.
Fuck you, Pen.
What?
I don't know the answer. There's going to be more. How has he got one of those?
Yeah, Lara, just keep going. Yeah, we'll just process at the end.
And then even he's like, oh, I've used the same go to hell line like 3 times in the last half an hour. We get to the party. Lunchbox and the sister are at the party. There's a guy, what was his name? Preston. Preston's there. He is wearing 2 shirts with popped collars and a bunch of Mardi Gras beads.
Hey.
Yep, he is exactly like
Why?
that. Because
the Fonz.
he's going to give you some of his Mardi Gras bead necklaces if you show him your tits, Andy. That is what he's got them for.
That is the custom in New Orleans and Mardi Gras.
Yep. I don't know if they're in New
We
Orleans.
apologise to everyone in New Orleans.
Why are we apologising? That's the
That's
tradition.
what they do.
Yeah, it literally is.
And also, I would just flash my tits for beads anyway, so I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary for any of us.
Also turns out that it's Preston and his girlfriend's house, and his girlfriend is perfectly okay with him giving people necklaces to get their tits out. We meet Margot and Pierre in the kitchen. They're like, oh, how's my favourite foreign siblings? They're very, very stereotypically French. They hate everything. America is shit. And
When is that French stereotype that America is shit?
well, like, because they're really fancy and America is not fancy. And the girl's like, but
Are
I
they
tried.
just like wearing striped shirts and have onions around their neck and go, zhou, 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 sacre bleu?
They weren't far off. The accent is correct. Turns out they're French Canadian. There's apparently a joke in there somewhere. But anyway, the girlfriend is like, but I'm trying really hard. I made you loads of French stuff. I made you French onion soup. I made you French fries. They don't give a shit. They chuck all her food away and pour the wine down the sink and then also imply that they fuck each other.
French.
We apologise to the French.
Preston's girlfriend, she's really into a program called My Tiny Uni, as in unicorn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he also secretly loves it. So he is basically a brony. I think they call him like a bronicorn or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
And she tells everyone that he's a brony or a bronicorn, and they all take the piss out of him, and he gets very upset. This party is so dull. So the sister is always on her phone all the time, and seeing as how she's played by a 28-year-old woman, she's really like totes and
Oh my God.
yeah, she's always on social media. They don't have the same named social media as we do, so she's not like, oh, I'm totally gonna tweet this. She's totally gonna cheap it,
Cheap it?
like cheap. I assume.
The best they could do was cheap.
Yep, she's like, I'm totally gonna cheap this.
Oh, I'm just going to go on jitter. Give me a second.
I don't know if they called it like what they called like
I wouldn't be
cheater.
surprised.
That wouldn't work, but
Cheaper,
cheap to-
I imagine.
I don't know.
Cheaper.
I missed that bit. I think this was where I started to turn the subtitles on.
I'm going to go on Footbook.
Duke has somehow found them. He's found their car outside the party, and this guy on the street is like, "Hey, you a carousel unicorn?" And Duke just kicks him in the head and just kicks the top of his head off at the jaw. So he just like boots him with his back leg. Looks really good. Like it's Hatchet levels of
Creativeness.
Hatchet 1 or Hatchet 2?
Hatchet
Yeah,
1.
which Hatchet here are we talking?
They
Hatchet
definitely
1, okay.
did not have as much money as Hatchet, obviously, but it's a fairly good like effect.
I mean, they had a unicorn that moved around and Hatchet didn't, so I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10.
Then a guy turns up, Joe. We'll talk about Joe in a bit. Joe's my favourite. He turns up to deliver the pizza. He's waiting for Preston to pay him, and he's like, yeah, hang on, I'll go and get you some money. And then he gets distracted by a woman in the hallway. So they've opened the door, they've met the pizza guy. The pizza guy's come in. He's waiting at like in his hallway for the money. And then as Preston walks off, he hits on this woman, and she throws a pot of coffee in his face. Like a glass that you put under a coffee machine, which I can only assume the coffee machine is in the hallway of their house. Which I don't understand
Some
either.
people walk around with jugs of coffee. I do.
What, like
What,
glass
everywhere?
ones that you
I was
filter?
drinking I was genuinely drinking a jug of coffee in one of those glass filter jugs with a straw the other day.
At a party?
Yeah,
No,
he threw
it
at me.
was, I mean, it was in my own time. There wasn't a party. We're in lockdown. But I'm still doing it.
Would you in a party?
Could have been a party.
A lot of the next part of the film revolves around the fact that no one will pay Joe for his pizza. The sister also hits on him a lot with some sexual pizza-based puns.
Oh, yes, let's go. Here we go. I can't wait.
I think we might have to go through and get to them when we get to them.
I'm really liking this so far.
she's hitting on him and he doesn't realise, and she's like whispering in his ear. She's like, do you know what my favourite topping is? It's sausage. And he's like, well, you can have sausage, you can have this. And she's like, no, I meant your penis. And he's like, you want a pizza with my penis on it? It's hilarious.
Oh, no. I bet there's a special sauce as well mentioned.
I don't think there is. I feel like that's more Big Mac than pizza.
Let's not get into food discussions.
Right.
Gonna stuff your crust.
Oh, he got it in one. He got it in one.
10 points for Brad.
Yes.
And that's why you're replacing Dan.
Yeah, what?
Literally, you're at the right point. My next note is they're gonna go and play Never Have I Ever, and he's like, I just want my money and I want to go, and she's like, come on, Joe. After we play, you can stuff my crust. So his timing is spot on. Genius. They're playing Never Have I Ever. It's very boring, but it does prove that the French guys have banged each other.
Glad we cleared that up.
The sisters' Never Have I Ever was, never have I ever not let a pizza guy fuck me in the arse the first night we met. So she's like really hitting on him. Like she's really going for it.
It's the Family Guy where Brian's at the door and the woman's got the legs open and there's the landing strip lights.
Yep.
As in, like,
Oh, yeah.
ready to come into land. Like that is literally all the signals being sent there.
Oh, man, I'm going to use that the next time I play Never Ever. Just see everyone's reaction to it.
Make sure you order a pizza first.
Yeah, that would just blend into the character. Yeah,
I
definitely.
think one of them was Never Have I Ever Gone to France, and the other one was Never Have I Ever Killed a Man in Cold Blood. And one guy puts, like they're doing it, they put their fingers down, and he puts his finger down, but nobody notices it or makes reference to it, but then it comes up later. So someone goes up to Preston and is like, you write that unicorn fan fiction, don't you? And then he just punches him in the face for no reason.
Why?
Just punches.
Why is everyone hurting everyone? It seems so violent.
So stupid.
I think it's like, why can't you like manly shows like SEAL Team 8? Why'd you have to like unicorns? Bang, punches him.
SEAL Team 8.
I don't know. I made that up.
That's so American high school sort of jock nerd
Yeah.
sort of vibes.
At this point, apparently I've noticed that the party music is just Casio keyboard dance music in the background. They've clearly got
The best kind.
Got no license for anything.
Dictionary.
DJ.
Anyone want to put in a pizza-based sex pun before I unveil this one?
I'll have a slice of you. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That works, but it's terrible. I guess.
Something about an extra large.
No, this
I'd
was
like
quite a
to
good
taste your cheese.
Jesus Christ.
He can bone my calzone.
That's horrible.
That's really reaching though. That's reaching a little bit.
She also talks in hashtags a lot.
Oh,
the sister,
fuck off.
because she's always on social media. Yeah, like so often I didn't write any of them down. Hashtags everywhere. There we cut to a couple of guys outside the party who are either drunk or stoned, I don't know. And Duke goes up to them. And then for some reason we have to discuss the difference between a unicorn and a horse. Because one of them's like, oh, it's a horse. And he's like, no, it's a unicorn. How can you tell? Well, unicorns have horns. Completely unnecessary. Duke also thinks it's unnecessary. They hug each other. That's why I think they're stoned. They hug each other. And then Duke stabs them, both of them, in one go with a garden flamingo.
Wow, that reaction.
What part of the flamingo is going through them? Is there like the spike?
The foot?
The beak.
The beak.
The beak.
How fucking big is this
The
flamingo?
How?
Not big enough.
Yeah, logic is not working
No,
with my
there
brain
isn't
right
any.
now.
At
Okay.
least use the spike you jam it into the ground with, not the fucking
Exactly.
beak.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the beak. Honestly, I had to stop this film to make so many notes. It took me nearly 2 hours to watch a 1 hour film, I swear.
I'm saying logic, but we are listening to a film about a walking unicorn that used to be on a carousel, so let's bear that in mind.
So Duke wants to kill Lunchbox. So he rings the doorbell and they open the door and obviously there's just a carousel unicorn just like sat there. And they're like, oh my God, this is awesome. So they bring him into the house and then they have a party montage with the unicorn.
Yes.
And it is complete with a unicorn-based song. So they've got, it's all like,
Sing it.
not Polaroids, but you know when like the editing is like juddery, like you're taking lots of pictures.
Yes.
And it's them partying with the unicorn. And one of the lines was, friends for life, one horn for all, which was part of the little unicorn song. I think it was supposed to be the My Tiny Uni theme song in the end.
Do they make the unicorn do like a keg stand and shit?
No, I think they mostly just like, I don't know, if it's a real carousel horse, they're not that light, are they? I don't really...
No, they're solid wood.
Yeah, they're fucking heavy.
It's quite a cheap looking one, so maybe it could have been, I don't know, fiberglass, which isn't heavy.
Yeah, but again, it walks around and stabs people, so I don't think they take into account its weight or anything. It's just one of those films.
No. But, like, I feel like the only montage was them, like, putting a hat on it and, like, drinking and stuff. I don't think they did, like, a massive...
That's such a waste.
It definitely wasn't doing a kickback.
I'll say they could have easily been doing shots off it. Just lining a load of shots on its back and then all in one go.
Snorting coke off its arsehole. Well, that was specific. Hang on a second. Let me take that back. Snorting coke off its saddle.
Yeah, arsehole was extra specific.
I don't know if carousel unicorns have arseholes. I would have thought they'd be covered by the tail. Anyway, let's keep going.
No, let's go deeper.
So Preston, being a bronicorn or whatever he is, he really wants to keep it because now they have their little montage. They're like, now what? And he's like, he's desperate to keep it, but he's like, I don't know. Could just like put it in my room. Like, whatever. Joe still hasn't had his money. He's like, fucking, you owe me money for the pizza. And he's like, well, help me get this upstairs and then I'll grab some money upstairs. And while they're trying to get... So yeah, it's heavy. There needs two of them to get up the stairs. While they're trying to do that, they make a gay joke and a pivot joke, which I can only assume is a friend's thing. I feel like they were shouting pivot on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely sounds like aping it up.
The sister keeps hitting on Joe and he has just realised that she is hitting on him.
Wow.
He's literally like, oh, you're hitting on me? And she's like, yes, your skull is thicker than a deep dish pizza, which I didn't write down. That has been stuck in my brain. I've just remembered that. That's worrying. And then she's like, so can we have sex now? And he's like, yes, but I'm still working, so you have to wait.
You have to pay me.
You have to preheat.
Preheat.
Oh.
Preheat my oven, Joe.
Well, someone's getting a little bit preheated.
Yeah.
As you've said that. Sarah, who I now know is Preston's girlfriend, Sarah is very attracted to Duke.
How so?
Oh, no.
She loves unicorns. Apparently, she's thought about banging unicorns for a while.
She likes a bit of horn in her life.
Yep. So she is going to go upstairs
good Lord.
And see Duke.
Okay.
And I've just written, this is weird. Then it says, sexy music. She takes her top off. Oh, and her bra. Oh, we're fully naked. And she fucks it. We don't see her fuck it. Throwing that out there. But it's...
I think it says a lot about some of the films I've heard you bring on sometimes where this is the point where you've voted, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it took a bit of an odd
This
turn.
is every Penn film where she goes, this bit's weird. This bit covered up's a bit strange.
The worst part is I just have questions about the mechanics of her fucking a unicorn.
Yeah, but we don't see it, so we can't question it. That's the problem with the film, is that it's like, no, we're not going to show you it because you can't discuss it. They're tricking us.
No.
Motherfuckers.
It also gets a little bit weird and takes a really dark turn, but only for a second. So the French siblings are outside that bedroom now, kissing each other. And then it goes back into Preston's room and Duke is taking photos of Sarah. You don't really know this, but you can hear the clicking noise as if someone is taking a picture, and he's got a camera hanging around his neck, so you can assume it's him. And she's laying on the bed crying, and she says, why did you make me do that?
What? Did she make him have sex with the fucking unicorn?
She talking to the unicorn?
Well, he's like, I didn't make you. And she's like, yeah, but I have a boyfriend. So she's actually freaking out because she was sexually attracted to him and now she's cheated on Preston. But the way they framed it made it sound like something really dark happened. And it made me very uncomfortable.
Oh, it's losing me, Pen. It's got to the point where it's losing me.
Yeah.
Well,
yep.
Duke's not into Sarah's shit, so he breaks up with her. And he's also like, and by breaking up with you, I mean break you. And he starts pummeling her in the face with his hooves, which you do see. But it's as if, like, I don't know whether they've put a camera on the carousel horse to film it, like, so it's just moving it, or whether I don't know, made hooves. But he basically punches her to death with his hooves. He then can't get the bedroom door open because he has hooves, even though he can kill people with machetes and things. But he makes a point about how he can't open the door. And then the French siblings are like, oh, I can't wait any longer. Let's bang in here. So they open the door and Duke's like, oh, cheers. Stabs the French guy with his horn and says, that's 2 penetrations in one room. Let's go for 3.
Nice.
But instead of stabbing the sister, he rips out her throat with his teeth.
It's not penetration, is it?
No.
Nope.
That's just foreplay.
Preston sees all the dead people, tries to get everybody to leave. Joe makes a really impassioned speech because still nobody has paid him. And he makes this whole speech about, do you even know why I have a job? My best friend, this dog with a weird name that I didn't write down, my dog has cancer and I'm working really hard to save all the money and help him. Joe is literally the best one in this. He is best one in this. So this is the point where I looked him up. He wrote this and he directed it.
Okay.
And it looks like he's done a bunch of similar films, which is where I got the Neil Breen.
So he is the Neil Breen of this film, essentially.
Yeah, but he's not the main character. I mean, he becomes a bigger character, I suppose. But like,
what's his name?
The rest of them clearly don't. His name is Steve
Buscemi.
Radzinski.
Sorry.
Radzinski. And I think some of his other films might be a bit of you, Andy.
Yeah.
He's also written and directed and acted in A Meowie Christmas, A Meowie Halloween, A Meowie St. Patrick's Day, and A Meowie Christmas Vacation.
Oh, we have to watch these.
Yeah.
In order.
Oh, fuck that. I'm out. I'm working that day.
So Joe does his speech, and then Preston gets shot with an arrow. All you see is the arrow stick out the front of him. And then when he falls down, you see Duke, and he's literally got like a plastic bow just like hanging around his neck, like because he hasn't got hands.
I've stopped questioning where he's getting all these items from.
Yep.
I'm just rolling with it now.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. He shoots the rest of the guests except the guy that punched Preston earlier. He manages to punch the arrow away from him while it's coming at him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is he fucking Jackie Chan?
Yeah. So then Duke punches him in the face and it collapses, which was another good bit of practical effect. Then the dude from earlier, you know, they said, never have I ever killed a man in cold blood. And he put his finger down. He's like, hey, dude, these are my victims. I've been here all night. Where's your professional courtesy? Look, I've got an axe. I was going to kill them all. And Duke's like, can I have a look at that? Takes the axe, stabs him in the head, and then says, ha, what a jackaxe. Like a jackass.
Oh, that's the worst one. That's terrible. Fucking hell.
Also, for someone who claims to be I'm going to say serial killer, if he's done it before, a pretty amateur move to give the killer unicorn your axe.
Yeah.
Exactly. So coming up to the final stage of the movie, Joe, Lunchbox, and the sister, and Duke all end up in the kitchen. Joe smacks Duke with a frying pan in the face, knocks him over, and they manage to run out of the kitchen. They can't get the sister's car out because someone's behind it, so they run to Joe's car, but it doesn't work because then you see a shot of Duke holding, I don't know, a spark plug or something that has something to do with cars. So they're like, how are we going to get away? The sister's like, well, I've got some mace. And Joe's like, but isn't he made out of plastic? Not sure that's going to work. And she's like, we'll try it anyway. Runs up to him, maces him. Weirdly, it does work. And they run back into the house to try and seal it all up.
I mean, there's a little bit of logic there. If he's got annoyed by Lunchbox's snot earlier, then similar thing with Liquid.
Because he's wiped clean, but maybe it's just because nobody thinks to wipe him clean. That was a sentence I didn't like, as I said.
This film started with a child putting his snot on a fucking unicorn, and that's the fucking stage set. Done. Delivered. Full circle.
Then there was a really long scene of them sealing up the house, shutting blinds and closing the toilet seat and stuff.
Closing the toilet seat?
Yeah, don't question it.
So that he doesn't come up through the sewers.
What?
She's like, what are we going to do? We don't have a phone. And Joe's like, are you fucking serious? She's like, yeah. He's like, there's a phone in your hand. She's like, no, it's just a social media tool. He's like, no, it's a phone.
Oh.
Like, no, there's a really long conversation about how she says her mum blocked it so it can't make calls. And he's like, you can call 911 because all phones can do that. And she's like, where's your phone? He's like, in my car as a GPS because I'm supposed to be delivering pizzas.
This is borderline silly.
Yeah. It's all right because Woody's here. Woody's found them and he's going to save the day.
Cowboy.
He turns up. They're like, how did you get in here? He's like, you left the front door open.
Again, amateur moves 101.
Apparently that was Lunchbox's job.
Everyone's so fucking stupid in this fucking film.
I know I said it earlier, but Lunchbox really does sound like a prick.
He's 11 years old.
All he does in this film is eat. He told Woody earlier to eat a dick. And he wears a fedora, so I'm with Duke on this
I'll
one.
be honest, aside from the fedora, it does sound like my life.
Yeah, a little. This was possibly my favourite bit of the film, even though it wasn't a lot. Especially at this point where I knew that he was the director and the writer. You've got a shot of Joe and the sister, and he's obviously talking to Woody, but the way they've cut it, he's looking right down the camera, like he's looking at you. And he's like, what the hell is going on? Woody starts to explain like, oh, well, I knew this about Duke and I was supposed to keep an eye on him and stop him from murdering people. And Joe literally down the camera is going, this doesn't make sense. How can he do this? What are we doing? What are you doing here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I like that now I knew that he was the director. The fact that he was saying it down camera, but it wasn't too obviously breaking the fourth wall. It still looked like he was talking to it, and he's just like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. It's Amazon Prime.
Is that what he says? Is that what the cowboy says?
No.
It's Amazon Prime. We've been funded. What do you think?
It's Amazon Prime. Yeah, gotta make a fucking film.
Unfortunately, Duke attacks Joe and kills him with a pizza cutter. You know, the wheelie ones?
You could say he got sliced up.
You see him slicing into his face, and pizza cutters aren't really that sharp. And they're like, this is taking a really long time. Duke attacks Woody, knocks the gun from his hand, and as Woody's very, very slowly crawling to get the gun, he gets an axe in the back. The last two kids are hiding in the closet, so the sister and Lunchbox. Duke breaks down the closet door and she hits him with a coat hanger, which he says is apparently more painful than you would think.
That's a birdemic thing as well.
Coat hanger. Yeah.
Falls
Fucking
over.
hell.
They run out of the house. The sister has to stop because she has to cheap that it's a shit party. Somebody says, are you really stopping right now to post this? And she's like, I've got loads of followers. I have to cheap this.
Do you though?
And then she says, hashtag something, like hashtag shit party, hashtag worst night, hashtag CarousHELL. So they got the name of the movie in there.
Very good.
Very clever. Very, very great direction from... writing.
Yeah.
Great writing.
Then Duke shoots her with his laser eyes and sucks her
All
life
right,
out.
okay. Now,
Fuck, didn't he do
hang
that at the
on,
beginning?
no, wait, you what? Okay, no. No.
It's not often I agree with Dan and things, but I'm agreeing. No. Where the fuck has this come from?
I mean, you can say as much as you like. I don't know. I think on the poster or maybe on the picture on Amazon Prime, it does show him with laser eyes, but he shoots her with his laser eyes and it's quite a long scene of her like shriveling. Again, it's quite nice effects. She's like getting brown and bits are flaking off of her and she's turning into a corpse. And then she falls and hits the floor and shatters. So she's gone.
So for a while I've been thinking, if everyone remembers one of the early viral videos of Charlie the Unicorn.
Yeah.
I love Charlie.
And I did wonder how much inspiration has the director taken from this, and it's the laser eyes is the bit where I'm thinking, less Candy Mountain and more crazy people at parties not paying for pizza.
Duke is very grumpy and hates everyone. So
yeah, that's accurate.
I mean, Duke and I are sounding very similar.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He wants to torture Lunchbox. He's like, I'm going to sit on your back and I'm going to hit you and stuff and torture you and you're going to go through what I went through. So it's just down to Duke and Lunchbox. We're coming to the end. Woody is back. He was fine. The axe is gone. And he lassos Duke and he shoots him with a gun in the head and rainbow blood comes out of his... It's like it lights up and rainbow blood comes out of his head. Woody has quite a long death scene. His Lunchbox is like, you saved me. And he's like, but I can't stay. And then he takes ages to die.
Buzz!
So Lunchbox is like, he's like, don't die. How do I get home? And he's like, walk. And he's like, it's like a mile away. Yeah. But Woody's dead, so he has to walk home. And as he walks past Duke, he kicks him. And then it cuts to him walking home down a road. It's now daytime. And this car is coming down the road towards him. And he's like flagging it down. Just fucking runs him over. Who's driving it?
The unicorn.
The cowboy?
After 3. Yeah. Duke is driving.
Oh.
Duke is driving it, runs over the kid, backs over him. There's blood, intestines.
Sense.
It's great. And as Duke drives off into the sunset, apparently the lesson is, don't be an asshole to things. You never know which random object is a living homicidal maniac. So don't wipe your boogers on shit, kids, because it might wake up and eat you.
And shoot laser eyes at you one day.
Yep.
That is bullshit. I'll say it. I'll say it before anyone else. That's bollocks.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Andy there.
On a plus side, I'm glad Lunchbox got fucked up.
I am going to recommend it. In a weird, get a bunch of, well, not right now because lockdown, but have some people around, have some bevs, stick it on. You don't have to really pay attention.
Stick a pizza.
Get a pizza.
Find some French people.
Stick it on, have a look.
Make some puns about sexually assaulting a horse or something.
I mean, they don't need to reenact the movie, guys.
I thought that's what we were
I'm
doing.
not saying you shouldn't watch it.
Punch a child.
No, I think...
In fairness, the idea of having people around to watch it is very much how I came to discover bad biology. If you're wondering about the origins of that.
It figures.
It was better than Birdemic. It definitely knew what it was doing. And that guy, Steve's done a bunch of films. So
did it look better than Neil Breen stuff?
Yeah. And like I said, the effects were much better. Like,
Whoa.
you know they were low budget because they weren't CGI, but he's a better actor than Neil Breen as well. Sorry.
So, that's not what makes Neil Breen films great.
There's nothing that makes them great.
Shut up.
So I think Steve Rosinski is just good at kind of using small budgets and doing low budget films. Again, the acting's not necessarily great, and the story, there's a lot of padding because you don't see Duke at the party for ages. There's all this stuff with the pizza guy and
all those moments
and Preston getting punched and shit. Do you want to hear quickly a Meowie Halloween? When their home is haunted by a dream spirit, it's up to Whiskers to find out what is haunting them and how to send the ghost to the other side.
Jesus Christ.
She'll use ghost hunting, I'm going to fuck this up, the Necromeownicon and Wally's credit card to get the job done.
He likes puns, doesn't he?
He does like puns.
It seems like his whole entire film is a fucking pun, but yeah, great.
A Meowie Christmas, a couple of bumbling burglars are mistaken as two aliens by a talking cat that watches too many conspiracy videos. Regardless, it's up to Ms. Whiskers and her rat friend Chuck to capture them and save Christmas. Like, I'm all in.
Is this Home Alone with cats?
Yeah.
I think so.
Is it just copying other things and just reinterpreting as horror, I guess?
Without having watched them, I can't tell you. But I feel like there are a few I might have to have a little look at. But that was my afternoon, everyone.
And what was the name of the film again? For no one.
CarousHELL, not CarousHELL, because they put a capital H for hell. Otherwise, it would definitely say CarousHELL. But it's
clever, that.
Available now on Amazon Prime.
Please don't promote that crap on here.
You were so in at the beginning.
Yeah, I lost.
This happens with
really
every
quickly.
one of your films, though, Penny. He's always so invested, and then there's a certain point, about 20 minutes in, where he's like, no.
Yeah, it just disappoints. At halfway mark, it does something stupid. I'm just like, fuck's sake, I'm out. But either way.
If it helps, I think it was only an hour.
Wow.
It's an hour and 6 minutes.
It's an hour I wouldn't get back.
I'm just wondering how much of that is the padded party stuff then. That sounded so much longer.
I would have taken more unicorn murders.
100%.
You definitely would.
I hate this place. Every single day, every single minute, I'm working so hard for them. Just once, I'd like to make myself happy. But no, I have to keep letting little brats climb on my back. And then go in a circle. Forever. I'm Duke, the prettiest goddamn unicorn in the world.
Well, thanks, Pen. I never thought I would say this, but Andy, cheer us up.
This must be my job to pack things. It's unusual, isn't it? I'm normally the one who brings everyone down, but
It is unusual.
Seeing as we've got a special guest, you've listened to all of the episodes so far, right, Brad? You seem to be pretty bang on it, generally. Putting you on the spot.
Yes. I can't say I've listened to them all more than once, so this should be interesting. If it's what I think is coming up,
That's all right, neither have we.
Oh, I know what's coming now.
Well, because we've got a special guest, I'm going to do a little game for us all. Ooh. Dan, do you want to hit the jingle?
With
Excited.
pleasure.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is this?
Good review or piece of poop. Shit or hit.
Shit or hits, I guess is called.
Shit or hit. We're playing a game of shit or hit.
Wow.
Special thanks to friend of the podcast, Kat, for that fantastic jingle. In honour of Brad being here, I have trawled through IMDb to find some reviews of films. And these films are all films from the hat. Ooh. I will read a review, give you a score, and you can guess what the films were.
Ooh.
Were these films we've already covered in the hat?
Yes.
Now, Brad might be at a slight disadvantage here because I think there's one more that he may not know about, but either way.
That film may or may not be him. We'll find out.
Okay, good. Okay.
Are we all ready?
Sure. What do we do? Do we just say our names?
I'll read out the quote. No, I'll read out the quote, and then you get multiple choice, and you can decide which one you're going for.
Okay.
Here we go. Question number 1. Well, I thought I would see what all the fuss was about, and boy did I wish I hadn't. I have seen some very bad romantic comedies that are better than this film. 2 out of 10.
Oh. I thought it was going to be one of mine, but not a romantic
Could be
comedy.
any
It's like
film.
that.
The options are How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 50 Shades of Grey, Parasite, The Girl Next Door.
Oh, that could be. I don't think it's. No, it's not Parasite.
It's not Parasite.
Definitely not. I'm going to go for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's my answer.
Me too.
Go for the hat trick.
You're all going for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? Incorrect. It was 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh. Romantic comedy?
I was going to say.
It's not really a romantic comedy. That's what I was thinking.
I didn't write it.
Did we miss the point? Is it supposed to be funny?
I did
didn't
laugh
write
in
it.
stupid bits of it, but yeah.
So no points on that one. Off to a fucking great start.
Ah, fuck!
Jesus. Dad's had one beer.
Question number 2. Here is the quote. It's getting tense because there's no points on the board and we're only one question in. I feel compelled to offer my take on this film. I found it unwatchable. Well, I watched about half of it and then turned it off. All the other reviews gave it way too much of a break in my opinion. The sheer number of inaccuracies, stereotypes and cliches is overwhelming and cumulatively destroyed my ability to suspend my disbelief. The acting is okay and the overall production is not bad. 1 out of 10.
Ooh.
Why does part of me think this is Go? But I don't know why.
Wait,
Which makes me feel really bad.
Let's see if it's nominated for 1 out of 10.
These are your options. Eurotrip, Hatchet, Hackers, The Final Girls.
Were they all mine?
I'm going to say The Final Girls. I didn't like it.
You were wrong.
I think just the cliches bit immediately makes me think Eurotrip.
Yeah.
It feels like the sort of film that some people might have given a break given the time it came out and the sort of...
Well, not Reddit.
Yeah, I'm going to go Eurotrip.
Benoit?
Yeah, see, inaccuracies made me think of Hackers, but it's the stereotypes bit, and that was full of stereotypes, so I'm going to go with Eurotrip as well. That wasn't mine.
So, a Eurotrip, and a Final Girls.
I'm going for Final Girls, yeah.
Interesting, because if Penny had said Hackers, she would have been correct.
It was Hackers, damn.
Those hacker stereotypes.
Yeah, but it's the least out of all those, I think. I would have gone for Hackers.
It's just because it's so dated.
That's true.
Makes sense.
True.
Hack the planet.
Fuck the planet.
Are we ready for the next one?
I don't know if I am,
Let's
but
see.
let's go.
Okay, I don't doubt that the critics pan this movie, especially the artsy-fartsies who need a laxative.
Wanna dance?
This is a great vehicle movie in the tradition of Abbott and Costello, or more recently, Don Knotts. It won't shake the world or change movies
Drive.
forever. What it will do is entertain.
Drive.
When all is said and done, that's the most important thing anyway. Watch this movie and forget your troubles. The options are Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, The Emoji Movie, Santa with Muscles, or Casino Royale.
Oh!
What?
I thought it was a vehicle movie.
And what was the score they gave?
10 out of 10.
I thought it was a bad review. No?
I thought it was bad review.
No, they were criticising people who
Oh.
did.
So it's not Casino Royale then, because apparently people liked that movie, so I've been told. So I'm thinking it's not that.
The fact they're talking about artsy-fartsy critics, I want to say Elvira. Because that seems like the sort of thing that...
A Penny would say, yeah.
Seems like the sort of one that a more artsy critic, they might look down on it for whatever reason.
Just
I don't know.
entertaining.
Yeah. Who would do such a thing?
Yeah, who hates boobs?
Oh, that joke is so old. I am going to
So
go
am
with... Oh, I don't know.
gonna have to push
Shit.
you.
Someone else
I'm
pick.
gonna have to push you.
Someone else pick. I'll think.
I'll go with Elvira.
Elvira for Brad.
Put my neck on the line.
I'm going to go with Elvira too. Nobody's fucking defending Santa with muscles, I'm sorry.
I'm going to throw a wall card in here, and I'm going to go with Santa with muscles.
Ooh, interesting. We have our first correct answer,
Oh, is it Santa?
and it is Elvira.
Yeah.
Point to Brad,
Oh,
point to
of
Penno,
course it
fuck
is.
all for Dan.
Logic brag.
The boobs which did not do it for Dan.
No. Which is weird, because he's big into leather. Next up.
Yeah, but that's him wearing it, not other people.
Oh, good point, good point.
Yeah, I told you before, and you're not meant to tell everyone.
Good point. Okay, next up we've got what a complete pile of crap. A decent basic story concept, but written, directed and filmed with complete ineptitude and lack of talent. The film thinks it's so smart, thinks it's so creative and stylish, thinks it's such a deep commentary, pretending it's more mature and meaningful than any of the torture porn films of late. But no, it's just a terrible movie. It gets 2 stars, only due to a decent cast. 2 out of 10. The options are Parasite, Would You Rather, Drive, or Funny Games.
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
I am definitely going for funny games. Funny games.
All funny games.
100% funny games.
It's the torture porn comment.
The torture porn. And the cast is quite good.
See, that's what made me think, would you rather for torture porn? But
don't forget how graphic Drive was. Decent cast as well.
Yeah. I mean, Parasite was also quite graphic. I mean, I just think it must be.
Yeah. That was my initial thought as well.
I'm going to go with would you rather just because of if you guys pick the other one.
So, would you rather for Penno?
I'll go funny games.
Funny games for Brad?
Funny games.
Funny games for Dan? It is funny games.
Yes, it is. The torture porn bit, definitely.
I mean, I'll be honest, there was a part of me that thought that could have also been describing 50 Shades.
Well, yeah, that is true.
It was torturous.
Imagine if he'd put that in there, we would never have guessed.
It's amazing how many of these reviews you could put for literally any of the other films.
Does that say something about people that review on IMDb or the movies that we watch?
Both, I think. The next review is as follows. Unlike the typical moviegoer, reviewers are acutely aware that films which may seem unremarkable at the time of release can improve, like wine, with age. This film is possibly the best comedy of the era. 10 out of 10.
Okay.
The options are The Girl Next Door, Go, Eurotrip, A Silent Voice.
It's not a silent voice.
If it's Girl Next Door, I'll fucking lose my shit to give it 10 out of 10. I'm going to go with Eurotrip.
See, I want to say Eurotrip because it says it's like the best comedy of that era, but I don't think it is. I think there was a lot of films.
To this person.
Yeah, there was a lot of films like that though.
They've given this a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. What's worthy of a 10 out of 10? Eurotrip.
I didn't even give Go 10 out of 10, so I imagine it's not that.
Yeah, but your average is a 7, so...
Eurotrip.
I'm going to go for Eurotrip as well. I know I've already said it once, but hedge my bets and see if second time lucky.
Wait. Can I change my answer since they're all going for Eurotrip?
Sure.
Girl Next Door.
Okay.
But are you going to be happy that you've won?
No, you've lost yourself a point. It was Eurotrip.
Oh, fuck. I'm trying to get in the lead.
Strategic play.
I'm playing this seriously. Fuck. Okay.
Next up, we've got another review. Where to begin? Nothing fun about this one. Continuity was atrocious, huge story holes, stereotypes on top of worse stereotypes. Originality is nil. Please put the filmmakers in movie jail. It's scary that these folks are actually working on a sequel. 1 out of 10.
Ooh, a sequel.
The options are Crank, Hatchet 2, The Emoji Movie, Your Name.
Ooh, that's tricky.
I think I know initially where I want to go. It's, yeah.
You don't have to say it if you don't want to give us a clue, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Are they making a second Emoji Movie?
Fuck, hope not. It would have been out by now. I am going to go with...
There's stereotypes in Hatchet too.
What was the first one? Crank.
Crank, Hatchet 2, The Emoji Movie, Your Name.
Fuck it. Your Name. I know why I would go for it, I'm not saying, but Your Name.
Okay.
See, I want to go Hatchet 2, but the fact that it's already a sequel would then not surprise you that they're making a sequel.
But they made a sequel to Crank.
Depends when the review was written, though. So, like, if it's Crank 1 and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe they're making a sequel. If you're watching Hatchet 2 and you go, I can't believe they're making a sequel, they already did.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Crank.
Fuck it, I'm going with Crank. Change my answer.
I'm going with The Emoji Movie.
Oh, that is a bold call, Bradley.
Come on, team podcast, let's get this right.
The correct answer is Crank.
Yay!
Fucking stealing my answer.
We have got
No, sorry.
4 remaining. Do we want a score update? Or
Yes,
do you want to
please.
be left in suspense?
Yes, please, George Dawes.
I can't take it anymore.
In first place, and I won't give you the scores because it's tight,
Okay.
is Penny Bennett.
Oh, fuck. Really?
In second
Oh,
place
fuck.
How does that happen?
is Bradley Stratton.
Oh,
And
yes.
in last place, at the rear where he likes to
yeah.
be, is
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Dan Lally.
Hello.
This next one. This movie was so divisive. People either loved it or despised it. You can either accept the ending or you can't. The movie really makes you think and wonder, what's going on? You're not always supposed to know what's going on. A lot of people do not want to know what's going on too much. Lol. Great movie, good soundtrack. I love really when movies change the way you listen to a song. 10 out of 10. Doesn't make any sense.
have an idea.
Ignore that last sentence. 10 out of 10. The options are Power Rangers, Go, Drive, or Vanilla Sky.
Ah, that's not. I thought it was Butterfly Effect. It's not.
Alright. I'm going to go with what I was thinking during that question being asked. I have a habit in quizzes of having a gut feeling, going against it, and when I go against it, I'm wrong and the gut feeling was right. So at this stage in this, I am going to say Drive.
Oh.
I will also say Drive because of the music. That's the sole reason. Power Rangers has Red Hot Chili Peppers, but
what about Action Boy? Yeah, Action Girl.
Oh yeah, but that's not like going to change your life 10 out of 10.
It's changed Penny. She's been listening to it all week.
It's the ending that makes me think it's Vanilla Sky, but I fucking hated Drive, so other people must have hated it too.
But this is 10 out of 10.
Oh, then Drive, because yeah, why not?
It might be Vanilla
Interesting.
Sky.
Brad, what was it you were saying about trusting your gut? Always trust your gut.
Yeah.
It was Vanilla Sky.
Yeah. God damn it.
Warning, guts are not always reliable.
Was the ending of Drive questionable?
Yeah, because he just drives off and disappears, doesn't he?
Yeah, he drives off. The end of the story.
It's the name of the
that's how a
movie.
story
How is that
ends.
questionable?
Yeah.
He
I
did
didn't
what
think
it said on the tin. He drives.
This isn't a review for Drive.
Oh yeah,
it's
sorry.
Vanilla
I'm
Sky.
sorry. In my own mind, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, next up. What I see is a romanticisation of the overly dramatic redemption arc, which sets up pretty unrealistic expectations on the very sensitive subject, which may be very triggering
I got this.
to the childhood abuse victims who have never gotten any kind of closure.
So,
Let me start this again once I get rid of the cat. Fuck you, Marcy.
Please keep it in.
Okay, let's try this again. This is so dense. What I see as romanticisation is the overly dramatic redemption arc, which sets up pretty unrealistic expectations on a very sensitive subject, which may be very triggering to the childhood abuse victims who have never gotten any kind of closure. Now that may have something to do. The fucking grammar in this is atrocious. Like, I'm not far off fucking rewriting it. Let's try this for a third time. Are we keeping all this in pen? Might as well. What I see as romanticisation is the overly dramatic redemption arc, which sets up pretty unrealistic expectations on a very sensitive subject, which may be very triggering to the childhood abuse victims who have never gotten any kind of closure. Now that may have something to do with the story being restrained into the length of the movie. If it were more time for character development, maybe I would have felt differently about it. 1 out of 10.
Got it.
well, I have an idea, but every time I've had an idea, it hasn't been on the list.
Let's see if it's nominated. Yeah, because I thought it was
Yeah.
something else last time. So yeah.
The options are The Butterfly Effect, A Silent Voice, Santa with Muscles, Would You Rather?
Silent
Santa
voice.
with muscles. I wanted to be
100%.
Santa with muscles so bad.
Silent voice.
Silent Voice.
Has to be.
Childhood abuse.
Well, it depends how you phrase that, but yeah, there is some.
I'm going with the butterfly effect.
All of them have some basis of childhood trauma.
Santa must. Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
they were orphans.
Orphans, yeah. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot.
Would you rather childhood cancer?
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm sticking. I gotta stick. I'm sticking with
The Silent Voice?
Yeah,
Death?
yeah.
Butterfly Effect? Everything else? Jesus,
Everything.
that sounds dumb.
Dog murder.
Yeah, butterfly effect is a lot.
So, what are we going for? Silent Voice for Dan? Pen?
Butterfly effect.
Brad?
I'm also going with the butterfly effect.
There is a correct answer in there, and it is A Silent Voice.
Get it.
Interesting.
Yes.
I read that review and was like, the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, that sounds so fucking stupid, but either way.
I have one word to describe it: verbose.
It is a bit of me, that review. Okay, 2 left. How are we feeling? Confident?
I'm scared.
I don't know how I was winning earlier.
I shit myself.
This is incredibly neck and neck, I feel like.
It's very tight.
That's what she said. Whee!
Fuck's sake, the jokes on this fucking podcast are terrible.
Man of your sex tape.
1 star. Awful jokes.
Okay, next up. I am flabbergasted by the amount of positive feedback this film has received.
All right, Karen.
It's more of a straight-up action movie, and while it has plenty of explosions and lots of splattering bloods and guts, this film is severely deficient in story, characters, ideas, and surprises. 2 out of 10.
Do people look for surprises in their movies? Is that?
Yeah, Dan does all the time. He wants to
I
learn.
do all the fucking time.
Here are your options. Power Rangers, District 9, Final Girls, Casino Royale.
What? How is it any of those?
It's definitely one of them.
And it was a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Power Rangers, District 9, Final Girls, Casino Royale. If you need it repeating, I can, because it's not as verbose.
One more time. Sorry. It's hard one, this one.
I am flabbergasted by the amount of positive feedback this film has received. It's more of a straight up action movie, while it has plenty of explosions and lots of splattering blood and guts. This film is severely deficient in story, characters, ideas and surprises. 2 out of 10.
I'm going to lock in the film that I technically only watched half of because I didn't have the subtitles on, District 9.
I forgot about that. I don't know if we ever fucking addressed that, but yeah, fucking hell.
Can't understand the prawns.
But yeah, she didn't know what the prawns were saying, so she just went, yeah,
She thought it was all implied.
I assumed you would have put the subtitles on it.
I'm sorry,
Daniel.
my fault, of course. I'm gonna go with the final girls. Yeah, I felt the same way a little bit with that film.
Interesting.
I don't know how much praise it got, but interesting.
It got a couple.
I'm going to split the room here as we're at this late stage, make it interesting, and I'm going to say Casino Royale.
Oh, so we've got 1 for Casino Royale, 1 for District 9, and 1 for the final girl.
It's going to be the other one.
Power Rangers? Probably
maybe
not.
No, there's no
Power
way
Rangers.
it's Power Rangers.
It's not Power
No.
Rangers.
I can
That's
tell
Power
you
Rangers.
that out of those 3 films, one of you has got it right.
Oh, fucking amazing.
And the answer
Come on, Jasper.
is District 9.
Yes!
Fuck!
Okay, I assume Penny had that one then?
God fucking damn it!
Fucking take that,
Alright, let's go.
prawns. Don't even need subtitles.
Fuck's sake. Fucking.
You're right, babe.
No. This is my one chance
One shot, one opportunity
to win.
to catch it.
It's everything you ever wanted.
You let it slip.
Mom spaghetti.
I love that that's the only bit you can remember. Just not spaghetti. Okay, this is the last one. I can say there is nothing to play for but pride and second place.
Okay, second place. Let's fucking go.
This is where heroes are made and losers are born, I assume. That's why I don't get involved in quizzes.
Yep, stick to the title card.
Shit or hit. Okay, so last one. Man, wow. I am at a loss of words to describe this high-octane, tantalising, brain-stimulating movie. The acting, excellent. The plot, superb. The story, great. The drama and suspense,
Gotta be one of mine.
mind-numbing. The movie kept me guessing and kept me at the edge of my seat, and the writers outdid themselves by making sure the movie didn't peter out with some lame ending. The ending was icing on the cake, and it capped what should be a classic. 8 out of 10, Chef's Kiss.
It's clearly Hatchet.
That sounded like a 10.
The options are Butterfly Effect, Drive, Your Name, Parasite. I would say this one's the most difficult.
Oh, it's down to 2 for me, actually. There's 2 films it could be. I'm gonna go for Parasite.
Me too.
So there's still something to play for between second and third, because I believe that is probably me and Dan. So I can either be boring.
I had 2 options, Brad. If you go for the other one, it might be the right
Yeah, I kind of want to make it interesting and see what happens. So
I just want you to be Dan.
Everyone does.
I can reread it for you if you'd wish. Would that help?
yeah, one more time, please.
Man, wow, I'm at a loss of words to describe this high-octane, tantalising, brain-stimulating movie. The acting, excellent. The plot, superb. The story, great. The drama / suspense, mind-numbing. The movie kept me guessing and kept me at the edge of my seat, and the writers outdid themselves by making sure the movie didn't peter out with some lame ending. The ending was icing on the cake, and it capped what should be a classic. 8 out of 10, a Chef's Kiss. And your options are Butterfly Effect, Drive, Your Name, Parasite.
Oh, could be drama.
Stop trying to make Drive happen.
No, it could be 3 different ones now. Oh.
I'm going to play a similar card that I did earlier and go for a film I've already said and take a chance. So I'm going to say the Butterfly Effect.
So Butterfly Effect, Parasite for Penno. Dan, you sticking with Parasite?
Yeah, Parasite.
Well, I can tell you that we now have a confirmed second place. Join us after the break.
Fuck off!
Oh, for fuck's sake, we haven't got long. Come on.
The answer
Oh my god, Jasper.
is the Butterfly Effect.
Oh!
Bold strategy.
So first place
God damn it.
with a total of 5. That's 50% of these correct is Penno.
How did that fucking happen? I never win these. Yeah!
Because you've spent 40 episodes talking about them. In second place is Brad with 4 points. And Dan, still at the rear, his favourite place is third with 3 points.
I'll see myself out.
Thank
the
you.
door now.
Yeah.
See ya.
Join us again for Shit or Hit next time. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good review or piece of poo. Shit or hit.
Thank you, Andy, for Shoot or Hit,
Yes.
an instant classic that I will never win ever again. Brad, you're signing us off. Oh my god, I can't say sign off. What the fuck? Brad, you are signing us off.
Fantastic.
Now. What have you been watching?
So, I feel like after putting you through bad biology, the pain I caused, I felt like I had to come on with something a little bit fun.
Yes.
I feel there's every chance this is one that, because I know Dan likes it. We've spoken about this film before.
Oh.
This could be something that might have been in the hat at some points. And I could say the four of us, we all like our music as well.
Yeah.
So, the film I have chosen to bring on is from 2016. It is a music mockumentary. The Lonely Island's Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Oh yeah.
I did not know this existed.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
I'm excited.
So I know Dan's seen it. Andy, have you seen it as well, I'm guessing?
I haven't. It's on my list, but I haven't got around to it. I nearly watched it the other week, actually.
So, for people who are listening that might not know, this is the second film made by The Lonely Island. Lonely Island are the comedy rap trio of Andy Samberg, who most people will know from Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
911.
Nine-Nine, and from Saturday Night Live. And his writing partners, Akiva Schaffer and Yorma Taccone. All three of them were involved in Saturday Night Live during the 2000s for a long while. And they were kind of the first people to utilise YouTube and viral videos as well. Stuff like Lazy Sunday with Chris Parnell, all their comedy rap stuff. People will know, like, I Just Had Sex, I'm on a Boat.
Dick in a box.
Jizz in my pants.
That's it. The Justin Timberlake trilogy, Dick in a Box, yeah. And up until this point, they'd done 3 albums. They'd also made a film in 2007 called Hot Rod, which...
Amazing film.
Yeah, I've not actually seen, but I know it's about a sort of Evel Knievel style stuntman, isn't it? That's what Sandberg plays.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And all 3 of them were involved in Palm Springs, which I know was brought onto the podcast sometime earlier this year.
Oh yeah, Dan watched it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. Good stuff.
It's on my list.
So the idea of this is it's a full-on sort of mockumentary of music documentaries, so doing what This Is Spinal Tap does, but for the pop and rap world. It's not just the mockumentary element and the satire, but it's also the music, because the Lonely Island are so good at what they do. It's that comedic fake MCs, writing silly songs, but I'm a silly man.
It's a really good parody of just, in general, pop stars, and not necessarily the exact lyrics they would write, but sometimes like overly... I guess word for it, but yeah.
Yeah, like there's so many, just everything about this is playing up so many of the cliches you'll find.
Yeah.
So the film is a documentary crew, got the main character, Connor For Real, played by Andy Samberg. And one thing to say about this film, it is star-studded. For a film that had a budget of 20 million, made just under 10 million at the box office. So it's considered a flop, but I feel like the Lonely Islands films have taken on that sort of cult status because of who they are.
Yeah.
So some of the cameos outside of some of the guys from Saturday Night Live of starring roles, you've got Usher's in this, Simon Cowell, DJ Khaled turns up and does his congratulations, you played yourself. He gets to throw that in.
Of course he does. Isn't James Corden in this or something, or am I thinking of a different film? I can't remember.
Oh my god, is he?
No,
I don't think he is.
No, he's not. From what I remember, he's not.
He's in everything.
50 Cent's in it as well, among multiple people, mostly from the rap world and pop world. So the documentary is filming Connor, who's released his first album to massive success. His first album called Thriller also. The documentary is filming him as he's going into his difficult second album. You know, the stage is set by the first quote in the film is Connor saying, "Ever since I was born, I was dope." So you get the opening, which is giving you basically the narrative of where things come from, where they started to where they are now. And they talk about the Style Boys. And the Style Boys is the trio of the Lonely Island as their characters. So you have Connor, is Andy Samberg, who's called Kid Connor.
Isn't he? He's like an ex-rapper that's now turned pop star, right? Like back in his old days, he was like a rapper and stuff.
Pretty much. They started out as a trio rap group. So Yorma plays Owen, who was the guy who makes all the beats.
Yorma plays Owen.
Yeah, so
As in your... No, go on.
Yorma. Yeah, Yorma Taccone plays Owen, who did the beats in the Style Boys. Akiva plays Lawrence, who's the guy that comes up with a lot of the lyrics. and Connor's the glue that brings them together and is kind of the front person. And so,
Oh, he's the Dan.
exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't do much though. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's the Dan.
Oh, thanks. Fuck off, Bennett.
Oh, come on, it was such an easy joke to make.
The start of the film, you get your classic narrative of the band gets their success, they get big, and you get the one big member who stands out from the others. The Robbie Williams of the group is the best way to put is what happens to Connor. They have their classic sort of split. They all go off their separate ways. Owen becomes Connor's DJ on tour. I'll get to what Lawrence does in a bit.
Did they split up amicably or no?
Unamicably.
Unamicably.
Yeah. Essentially, Connor got too big for his boots and that caused the split. And we come to the opening credits over this song, I'm So Humble, which is fantastic because it's
a great song.
Because it is anything but humble, but it's everything Connor is saying about himself. He's humble bragging while saying, but I am humble, but I've done all these things.
Yeah.
This also stars the hologram of Adam Levine on stage at this concert. And I don't think anyone has seemed so in love with himself as the moment where there's two holograms of Adam Levine. One of them is grinding on the other one, or the other one is spanking himself on stage.
It's kind of uncomfortable to think that he had to film that. And it was like, yeah, we're going to put you making love to yourself.
Yeah.
He probably loved it.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah.
100%. Along with this performance of I'm So Humble, you're getting to see Connor live the rock star, pop star lifestyle. From the credits, you go to them starting to talk about the second album. You get introduced to some of the supporting casts and Connor's entourage. So there's his manager, Harry, played by Tim Meadows, who's ex-SNL. He played the cannibal in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yep.
His PR person, Paula, played by the wonderful Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
And his lackeys, including the in-betweeners James Buckley, looking as...
weird.
He looks so weird because he's got long hair and he wears the most...
A fedora.
Yeah. Like, it's when you look at it, it's just like, no, you just look like Jay, but with a really bad wig and hat.
Yeah.
And you look so out of place in this setup. And they are the classic yes men lackeys, which I don't think is better summed up as Connor is on a basketball court taking a no-look shot. He completely misses the shot, and he'll celebrate as if he's nailed the shot.
Yeah.
You also get a breakdown of the amount of people on his payroll. 32 people.
32 people.
32 people on his payroll for touring and whatnot. Some of them are normal, so you have a PA and a personal trainer. He also has 2 umbrella wranglers. One person to hold the umbrella for him in the sun, and one person to hold an umbrella for him in the rain.
Surely just use the same person.
Well, I know which one I'd rather be.
Yeah, I think my favourite one is the guy who punches him in the dick so he remembers where he came from.
That I could do. That's a good job.
You also see Owen in his DJ role in the booth, playing the beats. He has all his nice synths and everything, so you think, oh no, he's doing a good job at there. No, his role is to press play on the iPods.
Classic.
Which he sums up by playing a Harry Potter audiobook through the speaker system.
Yeah, I forgot about that bit.
You know, when you talk about difficult second albums and how bands will change their approach, Connor talks about, how he wants to progress on this. I personally wrote all the songs on this record. He also brought on 100 producers for 17 tracks. Wow. Whereas on his first album, Owen wrote all the beats and he decided, I don't like these beats anymore, I'm going to do it all my way. And so you get onto the first song from this new record, which is called Equal Rights, featuring Pink. Now, this is a pro-gay marriage song, so you're immediately thinking it's one of these, okay, we're shoehorning this in the album to hit that demographic. They're trying to play towards the LGBT audience. But you see Connor's fragile masculinity through the song because after every bit of a verse, he throws in, I'm not gay.
Well, otherwise, how will people know?
Exactly.
It's sometimes rushed in, though, like they're in the middle of the chorus and he just goes, I'm not gay. Just put it in.
It's so scattergun. So the first line is, I'm not gay, but if I was, I would want equal rights. And then he starts chucking in seemingly what he would think is macho or hetero terms in, as well as just going, not gay. He says sports, titties, 4-wheel drive, and among other things, Lynyrd Skynyrd.
I bet he watches SEAL Team 8. He's a real man.
Yeah, and it's just, even at the end of the video, Pink looks awkward as fuck. After this, we get to the point where the reviews for the second album come in. To say they're negative is an understatement.
It's like Gary Barlow's first album. Disappointing.
Connor's second album, Conquest, is what it's called. With,
Clever.
I think the album artwork, it looks like something out of a Soviet poster where he's pointing in the distance and there's multiple versions of him doing the same. And I think one of the recites gave it the shit emoji. And the one good review came from a satirical website, which he didn't know was a satirical website, which I think sums it up. At this point, we've seen how the band split. Connor's got to his solo career, but we now see where he got there, which is a song called Turn Up the Beef with a fictional character played by Emma Stone. And genuinely, the chorus for this, it's banging. Like, I would
think
play
all
it in
the
a club.
songs are banging.
They are. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they all are. But this is one you could so drop this in a club, but then he has a breakup moment with something called the catchphrase verse. It's a whole verse that is just meaningless, nonsensical catchphrases, but are somehow seen as genius.
The sort of things people would get tattoos of.
So there was stuff like...
Is it I Love to Laugh? Is that one?
Fuck off, Bennett.
That's Dan's catchphrase.
That's mine. That's copyright.
Copyright,
you know.
Dan Alley.
There's not that much thought into Connor's verses. It's stuff like Dinky Nuts, Sorry Dads, and moped music, and Patrick Stewart money are some of his catchphrases.
Oh, Patrick Stewart money's a good one. It means absolutely nothing, but it's great.
Yeah. So at this point, we know what Connor's doing, we know what Owen's doing, and we go to see Lawrence. Lawrence is now a farmer in Colorado.
Like Gary Bowler.
And you go through this depressing montage, seeing how nothing's going right for him. And he's making really obscure woodwork, including this fictional pop award. When you find out, it's because Lawrence wrote the entire of the catchphrase verse. Connor got the award for it, didn't give him a single bit of the credit, and so you get the basis of why they've had the split.
He sounds like a prick.
That's like when you hear about like members of Five selling their Teen Choice Awards on eBay.
Members of Five.
I love you, Five.
But yeah, Connor still got the award, but the band had the split after Lawrence didn't get the credit for the awards. He got angry. He did try his own solo career, which was there is the song Things in My Jeep, where he literally lists things that are in his Jeep.
It's like an Anti-Donna song. It's literally just like hammer.
Yeah.
Tires.
Yeah, it's all very small objects that you could fit in a car, and then
Yeah.
I think it might be when Usher says, I can't relate to this song because I have different things in my Jeep.
Yeah.
And the full version of the song on the soundtrack album, I think it's Linkin Parker in it, doing
amazing.
some of the backing vocals and other parts
I
of
want to
it.
know what Linkin Park have got in their trunk.
So when you release an album, the next thing that come to is a tour.
Yeah.
Part of this, there is a corporate sponsorship involved. And they do a tie-in with a white goods distributor, and the plan is to distribute the album. Things like fridges, microwaves, when they open, are going to play songs from his album.
I mean, that is genius.
Oh, like when everyone
Bundled
got that
in.
U2 song that they didn't want.
Yeah. It's the U2 thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't have a choice, his album gets immediately uploaded to all of their products. I actually had a thought about this if I wanted to do it. There's two ways you can think about it. There's a song that you like doing it, so I would do part of the intro to People Equal Strip by Slipknot, specifically the bit where Corey Taylor goes, "Here we go again, motherfucker!" as your fridge
Every
opens.
time you open your microwave.
But there's also the worry that you're going to hate something the more you hear it open in the fridge. So if it's something you don't like, I would just have something like the Crazy Frog playing.
Or the Unusual Suspects podcast.
I've got Blink-182's Carousel as my alarm, and it has been my alarm for the last couple of years. So every morning I wake up and go, I fucking hate this song now.
It's the
only thing that wakes me up. It's exactly that part as well.
So yeah, I think if Corey Taylor said, "Here we go again, motherfucker," every time I open the fridge, I'd start to get a complex because he'd be shouting at me that I'm opening the fridge again. So yeah, it's probably not.
Be weirder when he says, "Stop eating grated cheese out the packet, you prick."
Yeah. Brad also eats cheese out of the packet, so
That is true. And after they talk about the corporate sponsorship, you start to see the first conflicts of interest with Connor and Owen, which becomes a growing feature of the film, where Owen seems to think it's him selling out. Is it a good idea? But Connor's very much like, nope, I like it. There's no such thing as selling out anymore. I'm going to do this. You also get introduced to another character, Connor's girlfriend, Ashley Wednesday, played by Imogen Poots. She talks about how she wanted to be a couple that when you look at them and you say, are they real or are they just together for publicity? It's not the idea of being a famous couple, it's the idea of being a part of this couple that people look at in magazines and think, is this actually real? Are you just together for the sake of being together and famous? Just talk about the vacuous sense of celebrity sometimes. So now we get to the launch of Connor's album in the Fridge products, but I think the company's called Aquaspin. So they do the launch of Aquaspin, and the launch causes a blackout across the city. I think it's somewhere in California. And it causes a major backlash against Connor, to the point there's a news story where Obama calls him a real dumb fuck. You're introduced to this very over-the-top parody of TMZ. Will Arnett and Chelsea Peretti are two of the showbiz journos part of that, and it's very much up their own arse, laughing at their own jokes, sort of. Connor and his manager talking about how the album's bombed, and you get one of those classic, could you give us a moment, turn the camera off sort of sections, during which they get attacked by a whole hive of bees.
As you do.
Oh.
I don't know, one bee was attracted to sunscreen.
You know bees.
You should see the subtitles on the screen directing you through this, and the sound. They kill them all with a flamethrower, and it's like, oh, did you get this? And it's like, well, no, you told us to stop filming.
It's a classic bee situation, isn't it?
Exactly. So now we get to Connor going properly on tour. You're introduced to a few tour people. Bill Hader's the guitar tech.
Yes, I love him.
One of the main people you see a couple of times is Tyrus the chef, played by regular Lonely Island collaborator Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I forgot he's in this.
You get scenes of like your classic backstage debauchery, people doing coke, boozing before the gig, that sort of thing. I think a lot of the songs are very relevant to the film, but this is one I think worked outside the context of the film, which is Finest Girl Bin Laden song.
My favourite song in the whole entire thing.
Which is a song about Connor being propositioned by a woman who wants him to fuck her like the US government fucked Bin Laden.
Wow.
The chorus is so fucking catchy. Like, it's literally just fuck Bin Laden. You gotta hear it to really get a grasp of it, but yeah, it's so catchy.
I'd suggest to anyone, give the film a watch and then listen to the soundtrack. It's brilliant. I don't think there's anything more American grandiose than during that song than a group of women scantily clad in sort of camo army gear, dancing on stage, saluting, stars and stripes on the screen while the words fucked Bin Laden are just coming across the screen. That is America.
Yeah, that's the optics they need, isn't it?
Yeah.
Six.
There's also another song called Mona Lisa You're Shown, which is where Connor's basically saying that Mona Lisa looks ugly. Why is she so famous? It's pretty simple.
I mean,
I can't
fair
remember
point.
these lyrics. I'm trying to get these lyrics come back to me now, but yeah.
She's not a good looking woman, in fairness.
It's Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of shit.
That's it.
She's
that's
also
it,
really
yes.
small. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realise how small a painting it was. It's very underwhelming.
It's that A4 size, isn't it?
Yeah. And I learned this week there's another lady under there that you paid over the top of. What's that about? What was wrong with the first lady?
She had a weird nose.
Art lessons with Penny Bennett.
Tune in next week for more.
She's like a shit Bob Ross.
I was thinking more like Morph and Tony Hart, to be honest. I'm Morph, obviously, not Tony Hart. Am I too old? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm glad
No.
we cleared that up. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I know of Morph. But
More like Tony Sharp.
Do you really not know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
Fuck's
I assume it's the
sake.
precursor to Art Attack and Neil Buchanan.
Do you want me to call you a
Yes.
taxi?
What?
Do you want me to call you a taxi?
I'd love a cuppa, thanks, love.
All right. Sorry, Brad.
that's all right. So at this point, you've seen that the tour kind of hasn't sold that well. Just you're given a few shots of like the upper decks, and there's like one dude there just fucking losing the shit on his own. And at this point, the corporate sponsors and the manager decide that they need to get an opening act on. And you're introduced to a rapper by the name of Hunter the Hungry, played by another SNL alumni, Chris Redd. Hot up-and-coming rapper. It's very in-your-face sort of lyrics. It's also implied he's a bit of a psychopath as well by a few of the people doing cameos. I think it's RZA from Wu-Tang who basically says, people say he's not a psycho. Nah, he mad, essentially.
There's also that thing where it's like, I guess with him, it's like Connor's time as the pop star is kind of dying
Yeah,
because it's the
that's
whole
it.
like pop star is dying and the rappers are
Exactly.
you know,
It's very much that he's the hot new thing. We need to get him on board to get ticket sales. They also go the route of when you're not doing well on a music tour, where do you go to? In Spinal Tap, you get Stonehenge. Here, they get another gimmick. Connor gives Owen a massive helmet to wear that lights up because EDM is the in thing.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like Lord Buckethead's head, I would say, is the best description. Hunter describes it as looking like the tip of Optimus Prime's dick.
That well-known dick that we've all seen.
Exactly.
I've seen it.
Yeah, we will have.
I've been on 4chan.
It looks incredibly uncomfortable, but yeah, it's one of many gimmicks to try and make the tour more interesting. There's a few more later in the film we'll come to, but Hunter coming on board helps the tour. They start selling out dates around Europe, and you start to see the point where Connor and Owen drift apart as he gets closer to Hunter. Hunter likes his pranks, so there's pushing people in pools. The pièce de resistance being when Paula, the PR, corners Connor and says, "Did you take a shit in the Anne Frank house?" Which he did when they're in Amsterdam.
Ooh,
I'm hoping he at least took a shit in the toilet. Is there
Yes.
a toilet in the...
Yes, there is.
Okay, that's good. Could have been worse.
The tour's been a success at this point. I think it was 8 days sold out. And they get back to Miami. And this is where, as Dan was saying, you start to see the balance of power and fame of these two stars going the other way, while Connor's stars falling. The album sales haven't been great. Hunter's is going up. So these gimmicks I was mentioning continue. One of them is a quick change, disappear sort of thing, like a magic show.
Yeah, Paul Daniels.
I'd watch bands do magic shows.
So it goes up, he does a quick costume change, but because he gets his clothes caught in his crotch, he has to tuck his penis in to avoid it getting caught in the crotch.
We've all done it.
Have we?
And he's like, nope.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, every guy has done it. We've all tucked our penis in between our legs. We've all done it.
I honestly don't think I have.
Wow, you're missing out on life.
I'm not some Buffalo Bill motherfucker.
Dan, were you trying to be a drag queen? Is that why you did it?
No, everyone's done it.
Apparently not.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Oh my god. Everyone's done it once in a lifetime. As a penis. As a man.
right about that.
As a penis. As a man who has a penis. Oh, yeah. Go on, sorry.
So during one of the costume changes, Connor ends up being naked on stage. Someone has nicked his clothes.
Oh.
So he's stood there with his penis tucked in, so it looks like he doesn't have a dick.
Or
Pretty funny.
has a vagina.
Yes.
Yes, Dan.
This is why we did it back in the day.
Stop saying we.
Essentially, Connor goes on the defensive, saying, "I do have a dick. I'm going to send everyone on social media my dick now."
Why doesn't he just untuck it?
Exactly. That would be the most simplest thing to do in that, even on stage.
It's not like he taped it up, I assume.
I think it's more the fact that there's a lot of young girls in that audience. I think that's where
Probably shouldn't get it out in public.
yeah. It's implied backstage that Hunter was responsible, but he kind of says, "Maybe I did it." Nah, I didn't do it. Or did I?
Playing the pranker.
Exactly, like just completely throwing him off. And at this point, he feels like he needs to change the press narrative. What's the one way to get the press back on your side is with a lovely proposal. So he brings Ashley along to this wonderful field. There's a white carpet, drapes everywhere, and Seal is singing a song for her.
Oh my god, this bit.
Yeah.
This bit is so funny.
It's the same melody as the Mona Lisa song, but they've changed the lyrics to be about Ashley Wednesday. There is also a group of wolves brought along. Apparently a psychic told her she was a wolf in a past life.
What?
Yeah. But Seal singing and the music sends the wolves crazy. The wolves break free of their handlers, start attacking people. Connor, his fiancée, his manager Harry get to safety in a car. Seal almost gets in the car. You think he's beating off a wolf. He punches one wolf. Then gets completely caught out of nowhere by another wolf.
I want to see Seal punch a wolf.
Yeah, they have to drive off without him. So that's one PR disaster out the way with.
Seal dies.
He wears an eye patch in pictures you see for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
But
You could say he was seal hunted.
Fucking hell.
doing more PR control, Connor goes on Jimmy Fallon to promote the album, but he gets sprung by Owen at this point, who is through the whole film is talking about reuniting the Style Boys. And Jimmy Fallon gets them to perform their iconic dance number, the donkey roll. There's this old school filmed footage you see of them wearing these maroon sweaters with Style Boys on. There's 3 dance moves part of it. I think one is where they flap their arms like a bird. Another, they're pointing their fingers to the ground. And then they dance like an Egyptian. Everyone's raving about it like this is the thing, like ushers saying, this is what got me into music, the donkey roll. But Connor's pissed off because it's living in the past. Everything goes to shit in his life at this point. The album's dropping off the Billboard charts. Ashley Wednesday dumps him for Seal. He starts having a go at crowds at shows because they haven't bought the album. Hunter's stars continue to rise. They talk a lot about in the film about riding the waves of success. Connor's been going up. This is where he goes down, and it's how you balance that.
Yeah.
Hunter starts running over on his allotted time slot. He's refusing to come off. Connor has had enough of it. He forces himself on stage. It ends up being a complete clusterfuck is the only word for it. They're both trying to play less songs. Connor asks his manager Harry to fire Hunter from the tour. Turns out Harry has signed Hunter himself. It's the point where everyone is starting to split apart, and there's very much a turning point in Connor's psyche. You can see he's starting to not trust everyone. His way of a trust test is cooking pancakes for his lackeys and Owen filled with dog shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask this question, but like, he's cooking the dog shit.
Yeah, he's collected the dog shit and he's cooked them in pancakes.
That's not going to be good for anyone involved. Like, that can't be pleasant.
It's not going to smell nice when you're cooking it.
No.
No. He's basically asking the three people at the table, now how is it? And the lackeys, being the lackeys, are the only ones to say, oh yeah, it's great. And Owen tells him as it is, and at least it tastes awful. And he's saying, oh, congratulations, you've passed the tests. You guys need to tell me if something's wrong. Like, don't just say yes to everything. And this is the breaking point for Owen. He's been reduced to being a DJ. He doesn't even play his music anymore. He's got the gimmick on him. All of this that's built up for the film, and he's like, nah, I've had enough. So that's that last sort of connection to anyone in the world that he cares about that Connor loses.
Yeah.
Or so you think. There's someone you get introduced to early in the film, Connor's pet turtle, Maximus. He was born with soggy bone syndrome.
Aww.
So he's always been an ill turtle, been alive 20 years. Maximus passes away. And so everything continues to spiral and spiral. He gets punched by Martin Sheen at a casino, among other things, and the tour gets cancelled. So he hits complete rock bottom. We go to him 3 weeks later. He's house sitting for his mum, who's gone on tour with Blink-182, of all things. He's just drunk, watching dressage on TV, painting pictures of horses and selling them on eBay. This is the point where Paula, the PR, comes around to him. There's a home video they watched from when they were kids, and he gets the realisation of how good Owen and Lawrence have been to him. Paula drags him out to a bar, and it's not until he hears music playing, turns to the stage, and it's Owen playing. Because the music's so loud, Connor starts having a massive epiphany while no one can hear him. Just being honest about everything, including saying, oh, that Equal Rights song was pretty offensive. He's getting everything out of his system, but while no one can hear him say it, makes him feel better about himself. He goes, talks to Owen, they make up, and at that point, they go out to Colorado to make up with Lawrence. Lawrence forgives him, they make up, and you find out that being in Colorado, what would he be farming?
Weed!
Yeah.
Nice. We get a sequence of the three of them just getting high. Connor brings along his pop awards that Lawrence should have deserved, and they turn it into a bong.
Of course.
So Connor gets a phone call about these pop awards he's wanted to go on through the whole film. He says no to going along because he wants to hang with the other guys from the Style Boys. But they say, no, you should go. The issue isn't that you're doing all these things. Don't choose. Do your solo stuff, but also do stuff with us. You don't need to pick one or the other.
Yeah, Gary Barlow. Don't have to do take that and your solo stuff. You could do,
As long as he pays his tax, it doesn't matter.
Eventually they decide, okay, we're going to go to the awards. They bump into Hunter. All the lackeys that were with Connor are now with Hunter. He's got his own documentary. Snoop Dogg's got his own documentary called Surprise Motherfucker. Hunter goes on stage to present a award with Mariah Carey, completely bombs it, starts insulting her. All the bad traits Connor was showing at the start, Hunter has picked up. Harry, the manager, quits as his manager. I think he punched him in the face when they get in an argument. Makes up with the Style Boys. And they get to perform, I think, the best song on the soundtrack, Incredible Thoughts, with Michael Bolton.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Michael Bolton. Sorry.
It's your favourite.
He is my favourite.
Fantastic song. It's the bringing everything together. It's a beat from Owen's show that Connor went to see, lyrics that Lawrence has been writing all this time, and Connor helps bring all that together. It's how they started, how they come to be at the end of the film. Mm-hmm. There's a singing fish, which no one knows who it is. It ends up being Justin Timberlake,
nice,
who is credited as Mr. Fish on the track. And then Connor gives a big closing speech talking about how they've been riding that wave of success. He's got a new turtle as a pet. Everything's kind of in a good place. He gets attacked by a wolf. Roll end credits.
That's at the end.
Yeah.
Is this a Hatchet ending?
It sounds like it.
Oh, Bradley!
I don't think so. I don't think there's any plans that they'd do a sequel, but they very much...
Yeah, it's a good film, though.
Yeah, I know I've gone for it in quite a detailed way, so I apologise. It's very much
It's all right.
how I remembered the film, but it's...
It sounds pretty solid. I mean, it has been on my list for a long time. Maybe I will finally get around to watching it.
Yeah, I would genuinely recommend it. As mockumentaries go, I think it's well up there. When it's Lonely Island doing what they do best as well, like I rarely find a reason to criticise them.
The songs will be stuck in your head for weeks. Definitely.
That is the main thing you'll take away from it, is the songs.
Jizzed in my pants.
There you go. Right, so we're taking a 2-week break, guys. So we're not actually going to be back next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on April the 14th.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, but it's not my fault. It's Penny's fault.
Just want a bit of time off.
Daniel, let's not go into this.
Let's just say season 1 is complete. It's an odd time to end the season. Season 2 will come back in 2 weeks' time.
We're busy. We need a break. We didn't have a break at Christmas.
We're not actually taking a break. We're still doing stuff. We're just not.
Yeah, we
posting
still have
stuff,
to
but
record.
Yeah, we're still doing stuff. Me and Penny.
Yeah. Give us a bit of slack, listeners.
We're not
Anyway,
taking a break,
But you are.
but there'll be 2 weeks without brand new content.
Yay.
We're fed up of you listening to us.
This will be really good for all the people I know that haven't caught up yet because it won't matter anyway.
Well, there you go.
So,
But when we do return, we will be watching the Vin Diesel film XXX, which is not a porno film, just to clarify before people don't know what it is. It's
don't tell me anything about it. You told me not to look because all I know is it's Vin Diesel's and I think cars. I don't know anything about it.
It's
You
a
told me not to
fun
look it up.
film.
I nearly watched it the other day by accident.
Yeah, I felt the same. It's that kind of film. But yeah, when we come back in 2 weeks' time, we'll be watching that film. So watch the film if you can. Penny,
Hello.
what's the social?
Well, apparently there's going to be stuff going up on socials while we're away.
Yeah, there will be.
So don't leave us. We'll still be here. We're working away. So don't go anywhere. You
Like
can
a
follow
trio of
us
beavers.
on
Unfollowed.
a trio of beavers.
Yeah.
That's what you just said.
Yeah, beavering away.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
You can follow the Beavers, Unusual Suspects Pod on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter, cheaper, or whatever they called it, at Unusual Podspect. I'm at Penny_photopit.
I'm at Dan Talks a Lot.
Choices 21.
And Brad.
And Brad, thanks for coming, Brad.
Oh, shout out his Twitter.
Yeah.
At Brad Strat on Twitter and Instagram.
There you go. And Instagram. Oh, you can get all the photos.
Big dog.
as well. Big dog.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the jitter.
My Instagram's all pictures of the dog. No one's interested.
No, we're not.
Someone else has got Choices 21 on Instagram, so I wonder if there's a load of people following her going, where's the movie updates?
They're not.
No, they're not.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Brad, for coming on.
Thanks, Brad.
That's all right. Thank you for having me.
And we hopefully shall speak to you soon and another time. Until then,
Sounded so ominous.
goodbye, all listeners.
See you in 2 weeks.
That's how people end fucking podcasts. They sound ominous. They sound mysterious. Like, oh, we're going to
Only in true crime podcasts, not.
Will we come back in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Who knows?
Well, otherwise, why are we still recording?
Let's find out together.
Tell him Steve Dave end on a punchline.
I might leave. I don't know.
We're not that lucky.
I don't have a job. I'll be back, even if these two aren't, you lucky, lucky people.
All right. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Love you, bye.
Bye.